I felt like this, would be a good introduction to horror for some people, or like horror comedy, especially because I felt like this film had a decent amount of comedy in it as well. And
I guess that's one way to put it.
Dollars to donuts, it's demonic possession. She needs an exorcism.
Drive-by movies you're watching.
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaze.
And my name is James.
And this week we're talking about the brand new film to Amazon Prime, My Best Friend's Exorcism.
What was that?
Hot damn, we got ourselves a demon! Woo!
I think we're alone now.
My Best Friend's Exorcism is based off the novel by Grady Hendrix, and it's about teen best friends Abby and Gretchen who grapple with an otherworldly demon that takes up residence in Gretchen's body. That is pretty much the plot of the movie, but you're kind of missing the key ingredient. 80s nostalgia, more 80s. That's definitely the theme within this movie. Like right away, I forgot what song was used, but I'm like, oh, here we go, popular 80s song, and keep queuing more and more in there and stuff. And this movie seems to be getting a lot of bad takes on it. Like people are not having fun with it. Blaze, what are your initial thoughts on it?
Yeah, I had to check my letterbox, I guess community, see what the takes were. It was all negative, but I have to say, of all the people I was seeing, I'm pretty sure everyone read the book, so they just hated the movie.
I see.
But yeah, I haven't read the book, so I felt like this film, I could understand why you would dislike it. The nostalgia factor is definitely there. It could get annoying, but for me, I felt like it wasn't it's enjoyable enough. I felt like it's trying to have fun with like different tropes here, and it seems like it's doing enough of an original thing that it might lead me to like read the book, which ultimately it seems is probably the better take. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was like the worst thing ever. It reminded me a lot of Vampires in Brooklyn, where it was like, oh, this is like a fun movie that if kids were to get into now, like they might actually have a lot of fun.
So yeah, I'm one of the people who owns the book for this, but I have not read it though. I just remember going to a bookstore one day. I was like, "Ooh, this looks like a fun movie," or it's in the shape of a VHS box. So I was like, "Oh, this looks like a fun book going for like 80s nostalgia horror." So I picked it up, but I just never got around to reading it. So it's not something I can really like relate to for the personal fans that might have a gripe with it. Overall, though, I'd say that like my problems with it were it felt a little uneven sometimes. It's very fast paced, and like even though like things happen very early on to like get the plot moving forward, it felt like it still took a while to get there for whatever reason. And I would have liked it to slow down a little bit more. It's called My Best Friend's Exorcism, but I felt like the whole first half, or not the first half, but like the first 30 minutes is trying to get us acquainted with all these characters, like the whole group of best friends, versus like just like, no, it's the best friends, let's see them be best friends. And we kind of get that like in the first scene and stuff, but I just felt like too much was being developed with the two other friends within the movie, as well as the boyfriends with it, and kind of carries on throughout the movie a little bit, but then it feels like those two other friends are kind of just forgotten. So like, that part just felt a little uneven to me at times, but the scares are pretty fun. And I do have quite a fun story to talk about with this one. I was supposed to see it at Beyond Fest. Got in. It was going to be like the only theatrical experience I've ever seen it at a theater. And the cast and crew were there too. Lots of people at Amazon were there. And in the middle of the movie, I'm like, whose phone is on? Like, I keep hearing like Siri talking or something. This is ridiculous. But, I wasn't letting it bother me. I was just like, oh, it's probably some stuck-up actor, like, looking at their phone during the middle of the movie. And then out of nowhere, when it starts to get towards the silent moments with the fake out with the raccoon, I hear they turn around, a raccoon jumps and scares Gretchen. And I was like, what are those like for the hearing impaired like captions I'm hearing? And it's just describing every single jump scare coming up. Like, it's not as noticeable when characters are talking or when music was playing, but whenever it was a tension-filled moment with no, music, and it's just like, eeriness, that's when you can hear this hearing impaired dialogue coming up. And I was like, this is awkward. I don't think I can watch a movie this way. I'll just go home and watch it from Amazon, because it was really loud during those moments, and it spoiled the raccoon before I actually even saw the raccoon on screen. And so I'm leaving, and someone who worked at Amazon, like, sorry to throw you under the bus, but I thought it was a little ridiculous, but they went up to like the employees at the theater, like, you with Beyond Fest? Like, someone's playing this and it's really distracting. And like, yeah, they're hard on hearing. What do you want me to do about it? And then she slowly started to realize, like, wait, shit, like, that's something I can't really, like, can you turn that off? Like, I'm surprised they didn't give the person headphones, maybe. I'm not sure how it works exactly.
The whole thing doesn't make sense in general. If they're hard of hearing, why do they need a voice spoiling the whole movie for them? If they can't hear,
I started
it's
to
so
think
confusing.
They technically, I would assume, are blind, and they're getting the entire details told to them, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. But I overheard them saying the person was hard on hearing, but I was just thinking,
it still makes no sense though. Like, if that was the strategy of, like, not even blaming Beyond Fest to the theater specifically, but if that is like movie's strategy, if someone is hard of hearing, is just giving them an audio track of what's playing, like, I feel like you're giving somebody who's hard of hearing more audio. Doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, the maybe vision impaired makes a little more sense. But I agree that, I mean, you heard what you heard, But yeah, that is weird. Also, like, why would they be giving out a machine that doesn't have headphones? I feel like that's the most confusing part. Like, and I feel like this is probably like theater wide. It's not even specifically this theater, but like, why would you give somebody like a speaker in a theater? It's gonna ruin like someone who's sitting next to them. Like, if it was a sold out screen, there's definitely someone sitting next to them, but if it was ruining the whole audience and the whole theater's experience, like, that's even more. Yeah, it sucks if you're hard of hearing. I'm not saying like that you're the problem. I'm saying the problem is like that it wasn't thought out very well of giving somebody a speaker. Like, why would you not give them headphones? But most people, if you have headphones on, as long as they're not something like heavy duty, like what I or you have on as well, like, but if it's, it's maybe just like, a regular set of headphones, you could still hear the theater at the same time, like, as long as the headphones are kind of turned down a little bit and they're not blasting. But yeah, I don't know, that maybe needs to get rethought, I guess, the situation of how you approach somebody who may be hard of hearing or hard of seeing or not having as great a vision, on like how they can get the most optimal viewing experience while at the same time not compromising the entirety of a whole screening.
Yeah. Because I know at the end of the day, it wasn't that person's intention to, like, mess up the movie for that Amazon employee or me who was just like, I'd rather just watch it at home if I'm going to be hearing this the whole movie. Like, nothing against it, but I was just sitting really close to them. I couldn't get a look at them, but, I was probably like 4 rows ahead of them, and they were actually sitting amongst the cast and crew. So it was a guest of theirs, or they just happened to place the person there. But I know that most of that area was reserved seating. So, if you're watching this video, like, like, sorry that, like, you might have had to deal with people maybe giving you rude looks, though, or something, because I imagine, like, people around them might have been giving them, like, insulting looks and everything. And, at the end of the day, I just hope everyone had fun. And, I had fun watching this movie at home, at the comfort of my own home, and able to pause it whenever I liked and stuff. Favorite character-wise, I'd say, like, I mean, it's nothing that hasn't been done, but I really like Chris Lowell as Christian Lemon within the movie. The guy who, the conspiracy exorcist boy. I thought he was just like, it takes a while for him to come in, but like when he does, though, like, lets loose, and he's definitely the one having the most fun within the movie. And I was trying to figure out like what I had seen him in, and I was like, oh, he was that evil guy from Promising Young Woman. So yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about that till now. Yeah, this movie, it has its moments here and there, and I feel like, for me, I know a lot of people might have read the book or feel like the movie just doesn't really
quite hit the heights that maybe the book did. I haven't read the book personally, but I've read Paperbacks from Hell, which is one of Grady Hendrix' other books. It's more of a nonfiction book, and I've seen some of his like one-man show type things, and dude, he's really funny. I expect that his novel is gonna be hilarious. He's written a couple novels here and there, so you know, I have to check this out at a later point, but I do feel like this was an attempt at that. Like, and I feel like some of the other like fare that we've gotten, maybe even this year, the past decade, for horror movies has kind of been lackluster in the sense there's been some great horror movies in the last decade, but I mean there's been some schlock here and there where I felt like this, you know, would be a good introduction to horror for some people, or like horror comedy, especially because I felt like this film had a decent amount of comedy in it as well, and it just kind of captures a little time capsule that might be annoying to some people because it's like kind of overdoing that Stranger Things 80s nostalgia, but at the same time it didn't bother me. I felt like I always kind of enjoyed stuff like that, even if it, you know, can be kind of annoying for other people.
Right, yeah, you know, the whole mall setting and the neon look. I guess like it was a little bit more pink and bright blue in this movie versus Stranger Things typically tries to go for like the more, well, I mean, with this more recent season, they try to go a little bit more metal, I guess you could say. But yeah, you know, captures the vibe, very fun, I'd say. It fits also the storyline of like the movie that they're trying to like capture the love for. Yeah, if you're like new to horror genre, I totally agree with that. Like, this is like something I would have loved as a kid, like being into Goosebumps. This would have been that next level up into getting into more serious stuff. Because like, you know, some of the horror sequences within this movie are pretty intense. But nothing overdone to where like a kid's gonna have like nightmares for like a month and be like, oh, I'm scared of this movie for the rest of my life. Like, it, you know, it just hits all the right notes where they'll be scared that night, but they'll be okay though.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be like Ghostbusters for kids almost. Well, I guess Ghostbusters is kind of a kids movie in a way, or the second one at least. So it's kind of in that same sense, but for like a newer generation. Yeah, that's the vibe I got. But yeah, anyways, I feel like this is a great introduction to horror. If you're willing to take that plunge, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an easy movie to catch up on. You can check it out if you have an Amazon Prime account, which is always nice and easy to do. But also you can rent it through Amazon if you don't have one of those glorious accounts. That's a great way to help support the show by checking out through our affiliate link in our description box below. Come back here and leave a comment also letting us know what you thought about it.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of the latest updates.
And if you can't get enough of us here on YouTube, catch all our social media links down below for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. That'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.